Hello, I'm Dr. Ellie Jameson and I'm here again today to talk to you about microbiology. And today we're going to talk about microbiology of soils. So I've got some soil here. So we want to know about what lives in soils and why it's important to us. So soil is a mix of broken down bits of rock, so in the form of sand and clay and gravel, and also decaying plant matter as well. So this is organic matter which helps to feed plants that live there. So soil is important to give something hard and solid for plants to grow in and hold their roots and support the plants to grow upwards. Also supplies nutrients for plants and water for plants as well. So if you dig through soil, you can look at different layers which form within soil. So if you dig down in soil, you should see some different coloured layers as you go down. So you might see a darker layer on top with lots of organic matter, and then as you go down you might get lighter, and then depending on how far down you might see some different coloured layers forming in the soils as well. And this depends on what's in there, so how much organic matter to how much rock material is in there, but also what bacteria, microbes and fungi are living in that soil too. So all these things give colour and structure to the soil. So plants need the microorganisms which live there. So there are fungi which help the plants to grow. So these can be helpful to give nutrients to the plants, and they can help them grow up. So these grow in symbiosis with the plant. So symbiosis means that the fungi give something to the plant and the plant gives something back to the fungi. So they live together in a symbiotic relationship and they give each other different foods. So the plant fixes sunlight to make sugars and they can give these to the fungi, and the fungi might also give different nutrients back to the plant, and they live together. And so also in soils, as well as fungi and bacteria, then you can also get animals which live there. So you get springtails and earthworms are also really important for the soil. So they burrow through the soil and make holes in the soil which provides oxygen and air for the other things which live there, and they help mix it around as well. So in the soils we've got the fungi and the bacteria and other microbes in there as well. So all these different microbes, so they break down the decaying matter and they release nutrients, and so they can help them. And also in some plants, such as legumes, that's bees and peas, they have these nodules, these lumps in their roots, and inside those bacteria live which help to fix nitrogen, which is a gas from the air all around us, to make it into nitrogen that the plants can use to help their growth. So they can help plants, but also microbes in the soil can be bad for the plants. So some of them can cause disease. So like we get viruses and bacteria and fungi which can make us ill, so plants have a different set of fungi and viruses and bacteria which can make them ill as well. So the ones which can make them ill there. So farmers do something called crop rotation. So in order to stop the build-up of viruses and bacteria which kill one type of plant, so instead of growing potatoes or wheat in the same field year after year, they switch which type of plant they grow in that field. So some years they might grow beans, some years they might grow potatoes and corn on cob and so on, and they switch those around each year, and this stops the build-up of the viruses and bacteria which kill just that one crop, and so then you don't get as much death in the plants, and it helps keep the crops and plants healthier to grow those. So what we're going to do today is we're going to try and see what different bacteria are growing in the soils around us. So you can take either mud from the bottom of ponds and rivers and lakes, or you could just dig up soil from the garden, and we're going to put it into something called a Winogradski column. So that's where we give it a bit of food, and we give it the soil, and we give it some water, and then we leave it somewhere nice and warm like a windowsill, and then we watch different layers forming within that soil. So you might get some different coloured layers. So at the top you might get the photosynthetic bacteria at the top here called cyanobacteria, which would give it a green colour, and then you might get some sulfur bacteria which are colourless down here, and then if we're lucky we could get some purple sulfur bacteria, and then we could get some green anaerobic bacteria going further down, and some black sulfate reducing bacteria near the bottom. So in order to try and see these, we want to try and pick some soil, and not all soil contains all the different bacterial groups. So depending on what soil you have, you might get different groups, and depending on what food you put in there for them to eat, then you might get different groups growing as well. So we set up one earlier, which has a source of carbohydrate. So we're just using the cellulose from cardboard. So you can use paper or cardboard, whatever you've got to hand for that bit. And then we want some calcium carbonate in there for the bugs. So we're going to use eggshells to provide them with some calcium carbonate. And then if we want to get some of the purple and green bacteria growing in here, then we want some sulfur. So I'm just using an egg yolk in here to give them those. So first of all, at the bottom of our bottle, we're going to put those bits in. So cardboard or paper just gets ripped up and pushed down. So about a quarter of our bottle, quarter of the way up our bottle or jar. So it can be a vase, a spaghetti jar, an empty plastic bottle, whatever you've got to hand. You want to fill up the bottom quarter with that. And the wider it is at the top, the easier it's going to be to fill with all the things that you need to get in there. So I'm going to start off with this cardboard at the bottom. And then also at the bottom, we're going to drop in our eggshells for the calcium carbonate. So scrunch those up and put those into a bottle. And there we go. So eggshell goes in. So eggshells and then our egg yolk as well. So we're going to put that in the bottom. And then that's their sulfur as well in there. Right, okay, so we've got all those bits at the bottom, which different bacteria will need to grow. And in this one, I didn't put the egg yolk in. So I'm trying to set up some different ones. So this one's just soil from the garden, and it's got the cardboard and the eggshells, but I didn't put any egg yolk in this one. So egg yolk can also make it smelly. So because it's got egg yolk in the bottom of this one, I'm going to put a screw lid on. And then on top of this, I've just made a funnel from the top of another bottle. And I'm going to use this to help feed in. So this is going to be mud from the bottom of a pond. So this one's soil from the garden, this is going to be mud from the bottom of the pond. And then I'm filling it up using naturally collectible. So it's not tap water, but this is pond water. You can use rainwater or whatever you've got to hand. You can try it with tap water, but you might not get everything growing. So I'm going to try and push into here some of our gloopy, yucky mud. So this is going to be a bit messy. So I put down some newspaper to try and make it a bit easier. It's got a few bits of broken, so as well as the mud, we've also got sticks and leaves all mixed in here as well. So it's going to be a bit tricky to get it in. And because we've got clay around this area, then it can also get stuck in here and it get hard to push down. So I'll help it in. It's a bit smelly here. So that's quite, so because it smells, I know there's some of these sulfur bacteria in here already. So this should mean that we might get some different colours forming in this one compared to our soil. So we'll see what different layers we get. And once you've got it set up on the windowsill, just let it settle down for a while. So 3/4 of this is going to be our mud and soil. And then the top quarter is going to be the water on top. It's just going to be filled with just water at the top. So we get as much mushed in here as we possibly can. And then we're going to top it up with water. So at first you should start, after it's all settled down, you should start to see some gases being made when you've got it set on a windowsill. So it needs light as well for this to work, to get as many different colours as we can. I'm going to take out some of the bigger bits of leaves and sticks and see if that fits in better. So fill it up, and then you should start to see a few bits of gas and things being made, and should see some little bubbles once you've had it there for a few days. And then after 6 to 8 weeks, hopefully you'll see some nice layers coming out. But you should see a few changes before then. So you should see different colours developing, and maybe it settle out and you see different bits. Okay, so we'll keep track of this each week and see what grows. And send me your pictures and we can have a look at what different layers we manage to get with different soils. And here you get the most colourful ones as well. So I'm just going to keep this filling up, and then I'm going to put the lid on when I finish and put it on the windowsill. So after I've got it filled up to about here with my mud and soil, I'm just going to top it all the way up with water, put the lid on and leave it. Okay, see you next time. Enjoy making your Winogradski columns. Bye.